Yo, what's poppin' Dynamites? Wing your zone, everyday wise is here. Welcome to MangaVation, and today I'll be discussing my updated theory on why Deku didn't lose one for all to Bakugo. I am making this theory today to confess that a previous theory of mine was wrong. On February 27th, the day after My Hero Academia Heroes Rising dropped in theaters, I made a video on why Deku did not lose one for all to Bakugo. And to my surprise, that video exploded in the community and now has over 170,000 views on it. But the most important part to me personally is that it has over 1,700 comments with so many different viewpoints on it. And that's honestly really amazing. But nonetheless, it's been over a few months now and I've been researching more on my theory on why Deku didn't lose one for all to Bakugo. And I pulled up enough evidence to create an entirely new theory that I believe is the actual true reason why Deku didn't lose one for all to Bakugo. Just a disclaimer, I'm going to be as meticulous as possible in this video so as to not miss anything important. So definitely watch all the way until the end and let's begin. In my previous theory on why Deku didn't lose one for all, that was based on another theory on Bakugo being a previous one for all user. Again, I'm not going to explain how that would work simply because there's already a video on that on my boy 𝚲𝚙𝚑𝚝 channel, so definitely check that, link is in the description below. But my theory was that since Bakugo was a previous one for all user, based on the time loop theory, one for all wasn't able to register the Bakugo of the present because there could be a feature in one for all that prevents a previous user from regaining one for all again. And I brought up what I would like to think are some valid points and why I believe that to be true. Like if a previous user can actually use one for all again, then why not have Eri just rewind All Might to his prime form and have Deku give one for all back to All Might to defeat Shigaraki in All for One? Especially since now he will be able to use all the previous user's quirk at its max power. But that theory was actually wrong. Now it's not something that can be debunked or anything, it's just that with my research, my new theory is 99% more accurate compared to my previous theory. So let me explain. One for all is a transferable quirk, and in order to transfer one for all, the DNA of a previous user needs to be completely in the DNA of the current successor. And also the previous user of one for all's intent needs to be to transfer the quirk. I'm explaining it like this instead of just saying they have to consume the DNA of a previous user for a reason, so give me a second to explain. In My Hero Academia movie Heroes Rising, Deku and Bakugo, both with cuts on their hands, transfused blood, which then gave Bakugo one for all. And after crying my eyes out to the beautiful scene of Deku and Bakugo vs 9, when he was finally defeated, Deku and Bakugo lay crippled on the ground and one for all was transferred back to Deku. Why? My theory is that one for all was transferred back to Deku because Deku unknowingly only shared embers with Bakugo. But before I explain how that works, I want to debunk some of the other theories in this case. The first thing you all have to realize is that My Hero Academia Heroes Rising is a canon movie. There has been multiple references to 9 and the events that actually happened in the series and the manga, and also Horikoshi even took some time out to create a side chapter specifically about 9 and how he even got in contact with Dr. Ujiko to get his quirks in the first place. So My Hero Academia Heroes Rising is actually canon. In the comment section of my previous theory, many people said that it was because Bakugo was unconscious, and that was probably because that's what All Might said. But you have to remember, right after All Might said that, he followed up by saying that that couldn't have been true and that one for all just did something miraculous. So that theory is thrown away just by listening to the rest of what All Might said. A lot of other people said that it was because Bakugo didn't completely want one for all, or that Deku didn't fully want to transfer one for all to Bakugo. But if you remember, when All Might came to Deku and Bakugo, Deku literally told All Might that he gave Bakugo one for all and he didn't regret it. But he was upset that All Might may have regretted trusting him with one for all, where All Might said that he never regretted Deku being his choice. choice. And this is right before One For All went back to Deku. So it's said from Deku himself that his intentions was to completely give One For All to Bakugo. And as for Bakugo not wanting One For All, you all have to understand that One For All is not a mutual consent quirk. The only person that needs to consent to it is the user passing it on, which is why when Deku freaked out to All Might after realizing Stain had his DNA, All Might said it's only if the user decides to pass on the quirk that it would pass on. Even if you look at All Might giving One For All to Deku, the only reason why All Might asked if he wanted One For All was because you can't force a 14-year-old child to take a quirk. I mean, you can, but if Deku didn't say he wanted One For All, then All Might would have just gone to Mirio because, again, a 14-year-old boy just didn't want you to force your DNA inside of him. That sounds kind of weird, but it's true. But regardless, that theory is debunked. And the last thing that people said before we explained the actual reason was that One For All was sentient and deemed Deku worthy of being the chosen one of One For All. And it's proven by One For All choosing Deku over Bakugo. Now with this, it's super complicated, but to be brief, if One For All was sentient and could control whether it wanted to be with Deku or Bakugo, that would make sense to the confines of the story. For example, if you remember in My Hero Academia Heroes Rising, 9 specifically said that he was going to take One For All, but the reason he wasn't able to was because it had more quirks inside of it and he didn't have space inside to fit them. Meaning with Dr. Ujiko's new quirk information, he created something that could take One For All. But 9's version of it was only a prototype for Shigaraki in the future of the story. If One For All could just go back to Deku from Bakugo because it chose him, then why would Horikoshi have added that One For All will be Shigaraki? Or to be more accurate, that he will have the ability to get One For All. That would mean that even if 9 or Shigaraki could steal it, One For All could just go back to Deku. And again, that wouldn't work out with how the story is told. So that theory is also debunked. Now the actual reason Deku didn't lose One For All to Bakugo is because he unknowingly shared embers with Bakugo. Let me explain. Deku gave Bakugo the power of One For All, but it's how the powers were given to him that changed how Bakugo attained the quirk. When Deku and Bakugo held hands and Deku's blood was transferred into Bakugo through his cut on his finger, that is when Bakugo gained the powers. Deku, along with many of us, believed that that was the DNA transfer needed for One For All to be completely given to Bakugo. But it wasn't. That was a transfer that temporarily allowed Bakugo to use One For All. But the thing is, Deku, nor All Might, nor One For All itself even is in control of why One For All went back to Deku. The reason for that is science. You see, as I was researching this theory, I looked up all the ways to transfer DNA to another person. We all know blood transfusion surgery is a major one, and also consuming someone's DNA through eating someone's hair is another way. There are definitely many more, but I want to get into transferring blood through a womb. According to Medical Daily, quote, Scientific American explains that when donor blood is mixed into the body with a transfusion, that person's DNA will be present in your body for some days, but its presence is unlikely to alter genetics significantly. It's likely minimized because the majority of blood is red cells, which do not carry DNA. So basically what that means is, through blood transfusions, DNA will be present in someone's body for only a few days. But as we know, Deku and Bakugo transferred a significantly smaller sample size of blood, and it was literally from holding hands and having Deku's blood seep into Bakugo's open cut. So with that logic, instead of Bakugo having One For All for a couple of days, he only had it for a couple of minutes. And all of this makes sense to how the story went. When Bakugo received One For All, he would fall unconscious simply because of the sheer pain of One For All is causing to his body. And with the limited DNA of Deku inside of Bakugo, he no longer has the embers of One For All, and then they return to Deku. Now I'm not gonna lie, this is pure genius of the staff that created My Hero Academia Heroes Rising, because not many people would ever be able to guess or even believe the reason Deku didn't lose One For All was because the DNA in Deku would only be present in Bakugo for a short amount of time. So in fact, One For All didn't do anything miraculous at all. Instead, science just prevailed in the biggest way in My Hero Academia. Now based on that, you have to ask the question, could that be a way for Deku to officially be like All For One? That theory video will definitely be coming out at another time because I'm sure this will open up a plethora of ideas for the future of the series. But that's all about judging for this video on the true reason why Deku didn't lose One for All to Bakugo. I hope y'all enjoyed, and if you did, definitely smash that like button and sub for dubs to join the Animites on this amazing journey. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this idea. Am I missing any key components this time, or am I spot on? And you don't have to leave just yet. Why not check out some of the other discussion videos in this playlist here, or check out some of my other content on MangaVation. But I love you all, and until next time, Anime stand up and win your zone every single day.